Welcome to the Hawaii Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your microphones and cameras are turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. And this session is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website where you've registered. And with that, I will turn it over to our first presenter, Indiana University.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Dexter Turner. I am the Senior Assistant Director of Admission with Indiana University, and I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. With Indiana University, one thing that we really want students to be aware of as you go through this process is that you're coming to a campus that is full of life and one big family. So know that it's a great place for you to be able to have the opportunity to grow, to learn, but to make so many new friends along the way. With us, we have 33,000 undergraduate students with representation from all 50 states and 140 different countries. So definitely a great place for you to explore and learn, but once again, you get to really make it a close and tight-knit community. Even though we do have 33,000 undergraduate students, one thing that we really love is that we still want to make those personal connections. We want to be able to make it an individualized experience for you. So we have an average class size of 30 and a student to faculty ratio of 16:1. And actually fewer than 6% of all of our classes are in that lecture style setting or auditorium style setting classroom. So you're really getting that chance to get to know your professors and learn everything about who it is that we are and what we like to do. Now, with us having so many students, we really want to make sure that there's variety for all students. So whether you already know what you want to study or are still trying to figure that out, you'll actually have the opportunity to explore the 12 different schools that we have on our campus. And among our 12 different schools, it's great because we have over 200 different majors for you to choose from. So you're going to get that opportunity to explore, figure out what you want to do. You can mix and match your majors, whether you have a double major, have a minor and a double minor, or some people even triple major, but it's truly up to you. That's something that we want to be able to help you out and support you with. And as we go through this support process, please know that there is every way, shape, and form possible when it comes to support for us and for you. So our goal is to make sure that you're getting that academic advising, the tutoring, and even the peer support as you go through this process. And that's something that we think really makes your college experience that much better. In addition to getting that support from these different advisors, you're going to get that support from those members of your community throughout your residence halls. So for us, we have 4 different residential neighborhoods on our campus with 13 different residence halls. And this is great because you get that opportunity to, once again, build that tighter knit community on top of what that IU Bloomington community already is. And so that's something that is really going to help you as you make that transition from Hawaii to Indiana. It's also great because we do have housing available for students from freshman year all the way through senior year. And I know for a lot of Hawaii students, that's something that's great because you do want to be able to stay on campus throughout your 4-year time. We also have living learning communities. The most popular will be the Hutton Honors College. And if you apply in our early action time period, you'll actually automatically be considered for the Honors College, so you don't need to send in any type of separate application. One of my favorite pieces about college and IU in particular is that there's so much for you to do. Whether you are joining different clubs and organizations that are academic clubs, we have Greek life, student government, different intramural sports and club sports, different art clubs and cultural clubs. But the goal is to make sure that you're finding that balance. We want you to be able just to chill outside the classroom and really find that opportunity to make some new friends and do something different. But this is what helps to make, once again, the college experience that much better. But we find that when our students are balanced, they actually do better in the classroom. And some of our different clubs and organizations lead into fun traditions that we have, such as our dance marathon, which is the largest in the country. We raise money for the Children's Hospital. Apparently just jumped a slide, but we also have Culture Fest, which is a great opportunity for you to learn about different cultures, different backgrounds, different beliefs, try new food, but that's part of that fun and experience. And one of my favorite traditions is going to be any of our Big Ten athletics. So when you're in one of the Power 5 conferences, you get a chance to really see that true school spirit. You get that camaraderie. And it is something that's just fun to be able to walk around and see everyone wearing that cream and crimson and cheering on the Hoosiers. So definitely make the most of that, but please attend every sporting event that you possibly can. And it's great because Bloomington is a fantastic city where you're going to get the opportunity to meet anyone and everyone, but it's just a very down-to-earth place for you. So it's going to be your home away from home. Now, as you go through this learning process, we want you to know that there's the experiential learning process that is a part of this as well. So whether it's going through research or if you are going through different networking opportunities, if you're going through internships, our goal is to make sure that you're getting the hands-on experience and exposure, because we believe this is what's going to help you as you go through these next steps. In addition to getting those opportunities, we need to know and let you know that you have the support on our campus as well. So instead of having one big general career center, we have one specific career center within each one of the 12 different schools. So you're getting very specific help, which is very important for us. Now, for all of my seniors, as you're going through this application process, please understand that there are several methods that you can utilize when applying. You can use the Apply IU application on our website, the Common App, which is the most popular, or the Coalition app. We don't have any preference, but we want to make sure that you are getting the support that you need. In addition to the application, there are supplemental materials in order to make a complete application. They include our essay. We also need your official transcript, and we'll need your SAT or ACT scores if you decide that you want to go with the traditional route. We are a test optional school, so you have the ability to apply test optional, and that's something that we believe is very important. In addition to this, we really want all students to apply by November 1st in our early action non-binding phase. This allows you to get the maximum amount of scholarship opportunities. It gives you the opportunity to apply for direct admission into one of the 12 different schools that we have. Plus, it also allows us to give you that opportunity to really hear back from us early. So please do this and get the different scholarship opportunities that we have. And then we'll talk to you about financial aid after that. But I really want to thank you guys for joining me today. And if you have any questions, I will put my phone number and email in the chat, and I will now pass it on to Villanova.
Good afternoon. My name is Candace Keith, and I am the Director of Admission Operations at Villanova University, and it gives me great pleasure to join you. And I'm going to share a little bit of information about Villanova. We've been around for about 178 years, and we're founded by the Augustinian friars who had come to the Philadelphia area to meet the needs of the Irish Catholic population. And pretty much so what that means is, as the only Augustinian university in the country, there is another that is a college, but we're very much so keen on making sure that the students live and learn in community with their friends. And Villanova's Augustinian Catholic intellectual tradition is the cornerstone of an academic community in which students learn to think critically, act compassionately, and succeed while serving others. We are located outside the city of Philadelphia, which is about 12 miles away, and it takes about 25 minutes to get into the city, and Philadelphia is very historical. The Constitution was signed here. We have the Liberty Bell, the first mint in the country, and with easy access to New York City and to Washington, D.C. New York is about an hour and a half north of us, Washington, D.C. about 2.5 hours south of us. But Philadelphia is extremely open and welcoming to students, as there are about 80 colleges and universities in the surrounding area. We were founded as a liberal arts institution and have about 50 different majors that students can choose from. And about 50% of the students come in through the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And then the other colleges are the School of Business, which is highly ranked. And it's a direct admit program into the School of Business. The College of Engineering has 5 different majors at the undergraduate level, allowing students to do a bachelor's, master's degree program in 5 years if they wanted to. And the Fitzpatrick College of Nursing was one of the first ones that was designated as a center for excellence in the country. And once again, it's a direct admit program. In addition to the majors that we have, there's over 20 different minors, areas of concentration that students take advantage of, and to be able to do a combination of programs and maximize their degree at Villanova University. We are a residential campus, and that is a big part of that community aspect that we have at Villanova, in that as a residential campus, we have 32 residence halls, and the students become very much so involved in the community as well as do a lot of service. Our students run the largest student Special Olympics in the country. Our students give over 250,000 volunteer hours each year, all while at the same time living on campus, collaborating with faculty members, doing research, taking advantage of internship opportunities, study abroad opportunities that are available for the students. In regard to the application process for any students who are seniors out there, we have moved the November 1st deadline to November 15th for this year. So if you're a junior, please keep in mind November 1st for next year. We are a common application school and who also will require the member section of the common application, where you would submit, in addition to the common application essay, the Villanova essay. We also require 2 recommendations, one from a school counselor and one from a teacher. So make sure to request those in a timely manner. Students who apply November 1st for early decision will hear by the middle of December, early action by the middle of January. Our other application deadline is January 15th. I mentioned here the Presidential Scholarship, which has a nomination process, but in addition to the Presidential Scholarship, also encourage you to check out other scholarships that we have, including the St. Martin de Porres Scholarship for students. We have been very fortunate in regard to the number of applications we've received these last couple of years. Our incoming class has traditionally been about 1675, and we were fortunate this year to still meet that number. Overall, we have about just under 7,000 undergraduate students with an average class size of about 22 students and a 12-to-1 student faculty ratio. Our freshman to sophomore year retention rate is 96%, graduation rate is 90%, and placement rate is 97% for students who, once they graduate from college, are going on to have jobs or have continued on to doing graduate school. One of the advantages that has come out of this year is that there's a lot more opportunities for you to get to know more about Villanova University. And certainly coming from farther away, it's not that easy to make a visit, but encourage you to visit our website. There's a lot of resources and available there. And a lot of these are pre-recorded. Of course, we already did our fall preview days, but invite you to do that. And invite you, please follow us on social media. It's the best way to really get information and just find out what is going on campus. And don't hesitate to contact me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And I believe that is a wrap, and we will go ahead and turn it over to Verto Education. Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks, Candace. I love watching Nova basketball, so that was a fun one for me. Hey everybody, aloha, my name's Josh. I work for Verto Education. I'm from Boston, but my mom is actually from Honolulu, and she's a Punahou alum, so this is a fun one for me. I've got very fond memories as a kid going to Zippy's and eating my body weight in shave ice. So aloha to all you 20 students out there. I wish I could see your faces and talk to you guys in person, but man, what a year. Anyway, let's get into Verto. This is a little bit different, guys, so please bear with me. If you're somebody who has ever wanted to see the world, travel, if you're somebody who is thinking about a 4-year degree, or if you're not sure what you're gonna do after high school, this is, I think, can fit all of those different types of students. So let's get into it. With Verto Education, really for us, we think that one of the best ways to learn is to get out of your own little bubble and see the world and experience life through somebody's eyes who thinks differently than you. So with Verto, students are spending their first semester of college traveling. Our semesters are designed to earn students 16 college credits per semester. So the idea here is get out, see the world, travel, but also stay on your 4-year timeline. We're going to talk about how our Verto semesters out in the world help students graduate, help them get into college, and how we can help students fit that semester into whatever college plans they have. So first, we'll look at the different locations. I'm going to skip a bunch of slides here. So for that first semester abroad, where can you go? What can you do? It totally depends on what you're looking for, where you'd like to travel, what your interests are, what your goals are. I'm going to talk about a couple of these and kind of breeze through the others. We'll look at London, for example. So in London, our students are looking at business, history, and politics. They are studying right in Russell Square in conjunction with the University of London. And so we'll meet for class maybe at the University of London one day we'll meet for class at the British Museum, one day we might go see a guest speaker who runs, like a social entrepreneurship NGO. If you're somebody thinking about studying these fields specifically, what a great way to start your college career and understand what it means to run a business from an English perspective or from somebody who does it in London themselves. That's why we do this first semester, because we think, again, it's such a great way to start college, getting out in the world. We'll look at Milan now, Italy. I don't really need to say more about Italy. History, art, beautiful architecture, carbs. What more do you need in life, really? Specifically in Italy, though, we're studying philosophy, development, and art history. So if you're like a visual learner, if you're a creative thinker, this is a really great semester for you. And students here are actually taking their courses at an Italian university called Università Cattolica in Milan. It's actually this first picture here. I can show you really quick. Let me go back. Yeah, this is that university in Italy students study at. So again, really great way to experience the world for your first semester of college. And again, keeping yourself on that 4-year timeline. We have different semesters around the world. We do have a semester in Hawaii. If you'd like to experience your own roots a little bit deeper, we're in Kona, Hilo, and Maui, looking at anthropology and environmental sciences. One of our semesters is in the South Pacific, where you'd be in 3 countries, Fiji, New Zealand, and Australia. If you're somebody interested in other cultures, if you're interested in animal sciences, sociology, this is a really incredible semester. You're going to be spending time with groups who are doing really cool things like geothermal energy studies. You're going to be looking at species conservation with the Australian Zoo, some really cool things. And again, 3 different countries for your entire first semester of college. The other thing that we do, guys, and again, this is the quickest I've ever explained Verto, but the other thing that we do is partner with universities. So if you're somebody interested in any of these 50-ish schools here, you can apply through Verto to these schools. It's a free application. It gives you a higher shot getting in. If you're looking at a school like UH, who we don't partner with yet, it's okay. We'll help you transfer the Verto credits to a different 4-year school. So you can spend your first semester traveling, earn the same amount of credits, and then continue on to whatever university you like to go to. These are our partners, though, and they're wonderful and great, and they are all over the country and the world. We have some international partners, too. The other thing I'd love to touch on quickly before I pass it off is financial aid and accessibility. This is huge for us. It's pretty, I'm trying to think of the right word here. It's pretty different what we do in the United States with higher ed, if you look at what other countries are doing, just in terms of students going into debt, tuition being higher than ever. We have a lot of different opportunities for students to really make college accessible. One of those is an opportunity grant. It's a need-based scholarship. It's completely given out based on income. We have an honors program for students that can where they can spend their first full year of college traveling. They're doing a ton of different things here. They're doing a capstone project. They'll do a guaranteed summer internship. The most exciting thing about the honors program is the tuition structure. If somebody's coming in from a really low income background, there's no tuition for the honors program. If they're in kind of that middle-ish range, their cost for the entire year is $15,000. All those semesters are included, housing and meals in your tuition. So there's a lot we're doing to make college more accessible, which is our goal, and also to offer students the ability to travel. So if any of that stuff was interesting to you guys, I'm going to pull this thing up. I know all of you have phones on you, so you might be on them now, which I wouldn't blame you for. But so if you scan this thing, it'll take you to a Google form, and you can put your name and info in there, and I'll reach out to you personally. We can talk about Verto a little bit more in depth and do a one-on-one. But yeah, scan that, and then I'll see it come through. Other than that, I think I ended it early, but that's okay. I'll pass it off to the next presenter. All right, yes.
Okay, lovely. Our next presenter is University of Hawaii, West Oahu.
All right. Aloha, everyone. My name is Amy. I'm coming to you from the faraway land of Kapolei at the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. Today we're going to go through some of the basic things that I want you to know about our campus. We're definitely a hidden gem, and if you don't know about us yet, today is when we're going to learn and make sure you know all of the wonderful opportunities that are right in your backyard. So just a quick overview, we are located in Kapolei on the island of Oahu. And right now we are about 3,000 students strong. So really what that means for us is our average class sizes are still small. They're still personalized. And that's really the reason why students are choosing us. They want to make sure that when they're doing their college education, that they know their peers and they know their faculty. We are a 4-year public institution, so we are a member of the University of Hawaii system. So later after me, you're going to hear from Hilo, and Manoa is also part of that University of Hawaii system. But for us, we have some specific things about our campus that I really want to make sure you know about, so we'll go over those things today. We are the Pueo, so that is our mascot, the Native Hawaiian owl, so we're very proud of that. So just to give you an idea of the academic experience you'd be looking at UH West Oahu, right now we are so lucky we just got word we're ranked #1 in the country for faculty diversity of 4-year public institutions. So that's a huge part of who we are in terms of the education we're offering. Diverse perspectives, enriched conversations are all a part of those small classroom experiences. Time and time again, we hear from our students that the reason they're choosing us is because of those hands-on opportunities, the mentorship and the personalized support for all of our students. So, especially if you're a senior and any of you that may be a little bit younger, if you are not quite sure what you want to do and you need support to kind of guide you figuring out what that is, that's definitely something we have at UH West Oahu. Or on the flip side of that, if you have some very specific career goals, maybe pre-med, or you want to go on to higher education beyond your bachelor's degree, that's something that we can help you with too. So whether it's super specific or you're undecided, all of that can come together for us at West Oahu. I'm going to show a list a little bit later of all the concentrations, but right now we have 9 bachelor's degrees that feature 45 concentration areas. So those are your really narrowed in focuses within each of your degrees that make it really specific and personal to you. We don't have any minors, but what we do offer are certificate programs. So those are often an additional 6 to 10 classes that you'll take to actually earn a certificate in a certain area if you want to really broaden your studies while you're at West Oahu. Some things to think about. I know a lot of you that may be tuning in today have done some early college credits, so please feel free to ask me about that chat, or I'll have my email at the very end. We want to make sure that we're utilizing your early college credits and applying that towards your curriculum. We also have online classes and summer programs for our new incoming students. These are our 9 degree areas, but really what I want you to see are all of the different academic programs. This is 2 pages. You'll see everything from creative media to education to business to the healthcare field, pre-med, healthcare administration, video game development. That's one of the newer ones. So whatever it is that you're interested in, as long as you know my face, we can figure that out together. And then in terms of our campus life, we are a commuter campus right now, so we don't have any residential buildings. So we make sure that during the day in a typical year, when we have in-person things, that it is alive and well. We have our cafeteria, our library, our great lawn, our intramural sports. So students are staying very active and being able to have a lot of opportunities to get to know other students, because we're kind of right in that size where we're big enough where you're meeting new people all the time, but we're small enough where you're still seeing familiar faces that really make it feel like home. So our clubs and organizations are thriving, and this year what we've done is we've pivoted everything to be virtual. So you're going to see a lot of student activities that are still happening just over Zoom, a lot like we're doing today. I want to quickly talk to you about how to apply to UH West Oahu. We like to be really clear and open about this. The only thing you need to apply is our online application, which you can complete again entirely online. And then you're going to go ahead and send us your transcripts. If you have any questions about, the lucky thing is I think I know the names of every one of your high school counselors. And so they can reach out to me if you need to get in touch with me so we can work together that way. And what we're looking for is a 2.7 cumulative grade point average and the completion of 22 high school credits. If you're on track to graduation, you should feel pretty good about that, so nothing to worry about there. And a huge feature of our university is that we are affordable. So if you're sitting with mom and dad right now, this is where you tap them on the shoulder. Our tuition for one full year for a resident is $7,584. That includes fees, and we don't have room and board because we don't have dormitories on our campus. So even though our tuition is so affordable, we still have a lot of opportunities for scholarships, both full and partial. So we'll definitely want to make sure that you take advantage of applying to those. And then finally, some of the things that are happening on our campus, we are still having a lot of momentum and growth. We have a brand new building that you'll see on the left-hand side opening this year, which is our Academy for Creative Media, as well as new academic options such as cybersecurity, health sciences. And just in closing, I want to remind you, we are an Indigenous serving institution. So really we're customizing all of our academic experiences and campus life, infusing that with some of the local culture and Indigenous practices that you already know very well. So thank you so much. My email address is right here. It's amy36@hawaii.edu. And I look forward to talking to all of you in the future. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Our next institution is University of Hawaii at Hilo.
Okay, aloha mai kako. My name is Jen Nagua, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for UH Hilo. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So if you haven't been to Hilo, it's a pretty small town, a lot more rainy than places on Oahu if you're living on Oahu. But even though it's a little bit more rainy, the rain is good because the area surrounding Hilo is very green, and if it's rainy and cold, there's a chance for snow on our mauna, which is super fun if you have a chance to go up there. The UH Hilo campus is a pretty small campus. We have about 3,300 students total on campus. We have 38 bachelor's degrees, 8 master's degrees, and 4 doctoral degrees. Our average class size is about 20, and our student to faculty ratio is 12:1. So although we're pretty small in population, we have a lot of students from all over the world visiting our UH Hilo campus and studying with us. And so to celebrate our diversity, every spring semester, we host international nights where each culture that's represented on campus gets to showcase the dance of their culture in a sold-out 2-night event that's really popular. Although we're small in population, we do have our main campus. It's on 115 acres, which sounds like a lot, but it's relatively small. So it's a really nice campus community where you will get to meet new people, but also see some very familiar faces. At UH Hilo, our faculty like to make sure that you can take what you're learning in a classroom and applying it to real life. So they'll either take you outside of the classroom to learn, or they'll bring in different speakers to provide relevancy for what you're learning. And all our faculty have been studying the field for a very long time, so you get to really learn from these experts. And because we're a small campus, often our undergraduate students have an opportunity to participate in the research that our faculty are working on, and it's not very uncommon for our undergraduate students to be published in journals and do professional presentations. So if that's what you're looking for, UH Hilo is a really great option for you. Here's a listing of all our majors that we have at UH Hilo. I'd say from the list, environmental science is pretty popular because they do really cool things like they'll catch the rainwater that's falling off the metal roofs in Hilo, and they'll test it for lead and have conversations about if that lead went into the environment, what does that mean? Hawaiian Studies is also very popular. If you are looking to strengthen your Olelo Hawaii skills, our Hawaiian Studies program is really like a Hawaiian language immersion program. Marine Science is also very popular at UH Hilo, where you're from the very first class, you're at the beach doing all different kinds of research projects. Nursing is also very popular. And then we have the only College of Pharmacy in the Pacific. So if you wanted to stay close to home and study pharmacy, that's a really good option for you. We also have a variety of support services for our freshmen. We have a mentor collective program where we pair you up with an upperclassman that has the same major as you to kind of show you the ropes of Hilo and support you in your first year. We also have a Target shuttle program. So if you don't have a car and you're coming to Hilo and wanting to get off campus to go grocery shopping or to hang out at the mall, we have, you can access our Target shuttles that are free for our students. We also have a variety of different on-campus activities happening, put on by our Student Activities Council. And even though most of our classes are online for this semester, we still have a bunch of students living in our residence halls. So we're doing in-person, smaller activities as well. And then we also have an outdoor adventure program that will take you to different parts of our island for free on the weekend. So you can go to the southernmost part of our island that has our Green Sands Beach. We'll take you to Kona. We'll also take you up north to Pololu Valley, which has a really nice hiking spot and can go end up at the beach. We also have intramural sports. So if you just wanted to play for fun, you can do that at Hilo. We also have we're a Division II school. We play for the Pac West competitively. So if you're interested in playing for one of our athletic teams, just let me know and I can connect you with one of our coaches. We also have residence halls on campus. The pictures on the left side are from our traditional style dorms. We also have 2 single rooms connected with a common bathroom and shower, and that's pictured here at the bottom right, which is our newest resident hall on campus. And we're super excited that in fall 2021, we're gonna get AC in there. So definitely check that out if you're looking to come to Hilo and you wanna live on campus. There's also opportunities for you to participate in National Student Exchange, Study Abroad, and Semester at Sea. And for National Student Exchange and Study Abroad, you'll be paying the Hilo tuition while you're studying on the mainland or going to study in a foreign country. So 1 year of Hilo tuition is $7,344, which is pretty affordable. You can also, if you wanted to go to study on the mainland and check that out, you can participate in National Student Exchange while you're paying the Hilo tuition. And then you also can study abroad in a foreign country while you're paying the Hilo tuition as well. So lots of opportunities for you to experience new things while staying close to home. We also have a variety of different scholarships that we offer listed here. Because of COVID, there's no test score requirement. So if you meet those GPA requirements, definitely check those scholarships out. The System Common Scholarship application is also a very popular application that holds most of the Hilo scholarships in it. Okay, so what do you have to do to apply for admission? We do have an online application form, and then we do have a $50 application fee, but we can waive that if you receive free or reduced lunch. And then we're gonna ask for your official high school transcript. And really what we're looking for, similar to West Oahu, is if you have a 2.7 cumulative GPA and you've taken these college core courses, then we can guarantee you admission to Hilo. And we recommend that you apply for admission by February 1st. So here's my contact information. If you guys have any questions about Hilo, I'm happy to answer them, and you can follow us on social media as well. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you. Our next institution is University of Wyoming. University of Wyoming, you're up next. Is University of Wyoming here? Okay, maybe we're having some technical issues with our presenter from University of Wyoming. Um, Maybe in the meantime, while we're waiting to see if they rejoin, if all the presenters, if you wouldn't mind maybe either turning on your mics or your cameras, we could just maybe do a quick round robin, and if you would all just share one interesting tradition from your institutions. And then if the University of Wyoming does come in, we'll wrap it up so they can have some time. So yeah, who wants to start first? Maybe we'll go in the same order. Indiana University, if you want to share a favorite tradition or just a favorite spot of yours on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So for us at Indiana University, one of my favorite traditions is going to be what we call the Little 500. So it's actually a bike race that we have throughout the city of Bloomington, and it's all to raise scholarships for all of our students. But it's the largest bike race in the country that's affiliated with the university. So it's a ton of fun, but it's all for a good cause.
So there's a lot that goes on at Villanova University. And I'm thinking the first thing I thought of was Joss mentioned basketball, obviously very, very popular, a lot of fun. But I think one of the favorite places on campus is what you would see in my background. And the official name of this sculpture is called the Awakening, but everybody lovingly calls it the Oreo. They think it looks like an Oreo cookie, and it's pretty much so in the center of campus. And it's constantly busy with students sitting on those steps, activities going on. Last year on Fridays, there was bands that would play their student bands. At the beginning of the school year, all the different clubs and organizations set up tables. So that's promoting their clubs. So it's at the main cross paths of the university and center of campus. So it's I would say the Oreo is a lot of fun to hang out, a lot of happening there.
That sounds awesome. I think my favorite tradition about Verto is watching Nova and IU basketball, probably. No, just kidding. We have a semester in New Zealand, excuse me, and our students do the haka. If you guys, I'm sure everybody knows the haka. And so you get to spend time with the Maori groups, and they teach you like those really cool, intimidating haka chants, and our students get really good at it. So I think that's my favorite.
My favorite tradition on campus is very, very simple. It's the welcome for the very first day of school. So on the very, very first day of school, after orientation and all of that, anybody that is available, faculty, staff, facilities, older students, they come and meet at the circle right in front of our campus and wave and welcome students as they're arriving for their very first day of school. So it's really nice because, as you all know, the first day of school, especially for freshmen, it can be really nerve-wracking. You're trying to find your way and just kind of having those friendly faces. That's one of my favorite things. I always try and participate in that when I can.
I guess just to supplement that for UH West Oahu as well, I think for one of my favorite things, one of the traditions that we do is probably our cram jam sessions that we have at the end of the semester. I've got to sit in on a few of those of the last couple of years, and it's funny how all the students kind of, they look focused, but they also all look very concerned about, I want to get that grade, I want to pass that grade, I want to make sure I graduate on time. It's like, yeah, look, it's going to be fine, you're going to be just fine, we're here to help you, you've done your part, you just got to finish the mile.
So at UH Hilo, during our orientation, we host a kipai pai ceremony. So we have our pahu, we do oli to welcome, and we give lei to our new incoming students. The other thing though that we have every spring semester that I think is super fun for our students is we host a ho'olaulea. So we didn't do this past spring, but the spring before we had Ekolu and the Vitals and Kaikena Scanlan. So it was just like a free concert, super fun on-campus event.
Thank you, everyone. We have a little more time, and so maybe if everyone would just share one piece of advice that they have for students during the college search. It's hard to distill to just one, but
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, but I would say that, especially for seniors, as you're going through this process, we understand that it's stressful and that it can be a bit overwhelming, especially this year and everything that's going on. But don't be afraid to utilize your different support systems, whether it's family, friends, or even us. Our goal is to make sure that we're helping through this process. So don't ever be afraid to utilize that support.
Thank you, Dexter. I totally agree, because many times, students are intimidated to reach out to us. Probably is maybe being the most expensive university with this group. Don't be shocked by the sticker prize. Don't be turned away by that. There's lots of resources and scholarships out there. And, first see what each institution offers. Make sure that you meet deadlines on time so that you can submit, all the appropriate applications. And, and reach out to us, to the financial aid office, to really get an understanding. So, yes, it can be a sticker shock, but there are resources, and usually coming from the institution. So take your time, and don't procrastinate with deadlines.
That was tough for me, Candace, as a high school student, to not procrastinate. This is a good question. I had a Spanish teacher in high school once, and we were taking a test, and everybody was freaking out because it was a really hard test. And she was like, "Everybody chill out. This is but a grain of sand on the beach of life." And that that line stuck with me. Like, if I'm 31 now, it stuck with me for 21 years, or however old I was when we had that test. But I think that's really important. Whatever choices you make, it's okay. It's going to work out as long as you work hard. If there's a certain type of experience that's calling to you, go for it, and everything will fall into place. So that's where I'd go there. I don't know if that was helpful.
I think for UH West Oahu, we're echoing everything else that everyone has said about reaching out. We give you so much credit, all of you that are in school right now. We see how flexible you are. We hear it from your teachers. We see it in our own family in Hawaii. So give yourself some credit for that. And then I think my only other piece of advice is really, on Oahu, and as well as the other islands, there are a variety of types of colleges available, and that can give you an idea. I know we can't travel right now, and you're trying to figure out what's going to be the best fit for you, but even being able to drive by some of those campuses or ask family and friends, that's a really good way to gather information while still being really, really safe. So just utilize the resources you have, including your college counselor, alumni that may be in your area, because now more than ever, we aren't seeing each other in person as much, but I think everyone is a lot more used to doing this kind of thing, doing video conferencing, getting a phone call from an old friend. So just try and think of creative ways to learn about the colleges you're interested in.
All right, just to add to everything else that everybody said, I think one thing that's we're starting to see a little bit in the literature nowadays is that a lot of students are looking for some career advice early on too. So I think for students that are coming into college, it's not too early to start reaching out to your career services counselors if you're looking for help with building your resume, preparing for interviews, or maybe even just taking a simple personality exam to see what possible careers might really line up with how you think, how you feel, how your perspective in general. So I don't know, I've seen a lot of students kind of go through that, and it seems to be helpful, trying to figure out, like, do you prefer working with people, or do you prefer working with things? So things like that. It's not too early to kind of start thinking about what you want to do for a career, and reach out to your career services office for help.
So my advice would be, don't be like me when I was in my senior year. I was having too much fun. I was not thinking about what would happen when high school was done, and I was just really enjoying my last semester of high school. And so I missed a lot of the financial aid deadlines, and so my options were really small about where I could go after. I had these big dreams, but I'm really not following through on it. So just hang in there. I know it's really hard right now, but if you can just stay on top of the deadline, so that then you have so many more options after you graduate about where you want to go and what you want to do. So keep up the good work, hang in there. We're all here to support you, and just feel free to reach out to any one of us if you have any questions.
Thank you, everyone. And with that, thank you all for joining us. When this window closes, there will be a brief survey at the end. 4 quick questions. Please share any feedback that you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted, so please be sure to sign up for additional sessions. And then in a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as many others where you signed up for this session. So thank you and have a wonderful evening.